Greetings, grandfather. Now, today I want to talk to you about some special people that you are fortunate enough to have in your midst. Sometimes these people are considered unusual, and over the years, doctors and others haven't quite known what to say about them. Very often, they are brilliant intellectually, but being of a special type of human being, they are sometimes unusual. But nowadays, being unusual is not such a bad thing, eh? At least it seems that way. Now, I'd like you to make an effort to appreciate these people. Very often they are informed by one or more sources that they have dyslexia. But this is the form of dyslexia I wish to talk about today, and that's that the people who sometimes bump into things and are surprised or unhappy about that. These people are very often associated with more than one dimension. They are not here by accident. They are here because it is intended by Creator to have something going on now, and it has been occurring over time. Really, for the past 1,000 years or so, these people have been slowly showing up. Occasionally here, occasionally there, but in recent years much more frequent. And there's a reason. Now, the reason has to do with dimensions. You, on Earth now, everyone, are passing between what we can call, for the sake of simplicity, the third and the fourth dimension. You're roughly about halfway there to the fourth. The fourth dimension will be a much more benevolent place for all beings. But what's going to happen as you move past the halfway point? You're going to need to have people that are at home in both dimensions. These people can be just regular folks. Many times they've adapted to the ways and means of being to get in a life, you might say, to get along. But at their core, they are of more than one dimension. They can adapt to different dimensions, but their purpose is not to do that necessarily. Their purpose is to act as an insulator, you might say a protector. By their very existence, they are protecting everybody on the planet because they act somewhat as an insulator to prevent the dimensions from, you might say, bumping into each other or stumbling into each other before the time is right. If this were to occur, then everyone would be totally confused. You wouldn't know who you were. People would be trying to open doors that weren't there in walls, or people would be falling through doors that they didn't know existed. In short, you would be a mess. So these people are in existence because they insulate and protect everyone. Now there are other beings in other dimensions. They also insulate and protect them by their very existence. This is a lengthy and complicated explanation which I am simplifying here because we don't have time for a 3-hour discussion. But I will simply say, I'd like you to be more aware of people who have this circumstance. For those of you who do have this circumstance in your life, I know that it is difficult, and many times you feel embarrassed, but it's not about your intelligence. As I said before, many people who have this circumstance are very intelligent. It's not about the mental. What it is for people who have these experiences, it's about the spiritual, it's about your physical feelings, and it's about your instincts. So, know that when you have times, when you're just sitting someplace and you're relaxed and you're safe, maybe you're alone, maybe you're with loved ones, and you get a particularly strong feeling that causes you to feel between here and there, so to speak, you know what I mean. Just let it be. When you were babies, you had that experience, and it reminded you of life after life here, and it is a lot about that. All human beings, and all beings for that matter, when you die, are also known as pass over. You literally travel through dimensions to your natural home place, where you talk with your angels and guides and Creator. One of the stations, you might say, one of the places you travel through, is the intersection between the third and the fourth dimension. So those of you who have this condition, all right, that I referred to as dyslexia, as it's called, or also, as I'm going to call it, dimensional interactivity. All right? If you get a strong feeling of dimensional interactivity and you're just someplace where you can relax, where you can be on your own, where you don't have to talk to people, you can just relax in a chair or in any comfortable position that feels safe for you. Try to just be in it. When you were a baby, in that baby's body, yeah, that's what you did. And during those times, for parents who have babies, all right, you would get very quiet, and sometimes your eyes would look, as people would say, glazed over, but that's a situation where you are experiencing a strong energy of interdimensionality. If you have a baby like that, don't be so worried, okay? They are doing something to protect and insulate all beings. So, you adults who have that, if you have that circumstance, just relax into it and be that way. It is nothing to be ashamed of. It is something to feel good about. And I am asking that those of you who know someone like this, if they're in a situation like that, and you know that it's associated with what's called dyslexia and not some other condition, they're having an experience of dimensional interactivity, they're helping, they're buffering so that all beings will be safe, and they are functioning in the exact spiritual way Creator has intended. I thought you ought to know about that because you're going to experience that more. Not just those of you who have this situation, but those of you who are around people like that. Know when they're as that condition, dimensional interactivity, you need to look out for them. Try to keep people from talking to them or bothering them, but do that in a quiet, gentle way, and things will be more beneficial for everyone and ultimately will result in the most benevolent outcome. Good life.